Hello, hello.
Hello. Hi, hi. See, it's getting early, lighter early there by you, hey, these days.
Oh, yes, yes, it is.
The times have shifted. Your clocks have shifted an hour
Yeah, we sprang
earlier.
forward. So,
Sure.
fortunately, otherwise I would
Okay.
have been an hour late. So,
Hi, Gail. Welcome. Yeah, we'll just give another minute or so to see if anybody else is going to catch us here at 6. I know Mary was going to join. Maybe she'll join us still as well. Hmm. Yeah, I was wondering how that timing, how it is to be, I suppose it keeps good with productivity to keep your clock aligned with the sunlight in a sense that you just follow the same
hmm.
same routine. Is it generally light at the time of work hours starting there by you, Adam?
Yeah, more so now. I mean, it's naturally, I think if I remember somebody was talking about 20 minutes in February. And then in March, because of the time shift, we gained like 2 hours of sunlight time between the actual sun movement and the time shift. So uh,
Yeah. Wow.
it's,
Mm.
I mean, in the context of this group, I think it's more that we should shift the world off of the mechanistic timing and all this artificial um, manipulation to clock time. We'd be better suited if we all just got in sync with
Yeah.
the actual
Well,
sun.
what does that look like? Syncing with the sun rather than any kind of
Yeah, the
arbitrary time set, yes.
yeah, or yeah, the
Mm.
seasons and moons and all the good stuff.
Give some spaciousness because there is less capacity for productivity or like for doing things in the winter often as well.
True.
Or it's a different type of work that needs to be
But that
done.
becomes, yeah, that becomes part of a tuning to that cycle of care. And
Yeah. Yeah, that'll be helpful to work that into our cycles of work. Hi, Tim
mm,
B. Welcome.
mm.
We're
And
still just waiting a moment for those to join, see if Mary's going to join us. Yes,
even
Adam,
even
sorry.
even just living in Hawaii for many years and becoming more familiar with the lunar calendar that is every day on the Hawaiian cycle is a different name for the moon. It's not just 15% full. There's specific names and there's specific rituals or plantings or activities induced by that and
Beautiful.
locating yourself to that time space with nature.
Yes, and then together, coming together and holding space for that intention
Mhm.
also creates a cohesion within the networks of people.
Yeah, and
Yeah, that mechanistic,
it's
excuse
all
me.
very it's all very bioregionally specific because in Hawaii, even with the five different islands, there's different calendars for each island based on it doesn't happen like it's not March 21st is spring or even the equinox until you see it, until you experience that star coming over this mountain. That's when
Yeah,
your season starts. So
that's it. So this is just the general timing, and you just got to stay really connected to your
you got to
location,
pay attention.
your environment. Yes, and that consciousness brought to the reality of what's actually happening around is very helpful.
Mhm.
Okay. Oh, beautiful, man. Sure. I think we can get started. For those that will still hop in, you can still hop in. So Today, because I myself, I felt I needed to just shift things up a little bit, and perhaps just speak a little bit and leave some room for us to talk about the principles. We don't always get time to go into the what's underlying the practice that I'm sharing here. Um, so I'd like to just dive back into that uh, the underlying view and the views and the lenses and the principles that I use to design all the meditations that I share. Hi, Tia.
Hi, how are you, Marika?
Beautiful, beautiful, and lovely to have this beautiful circle of people coming together here. Loving seeing
Hi.
everybody in gallery view and feeling our choice to come together. It's so nice. Yeah, beautiful. How are you? Are
We,
you well,
I'm,
Tia?
I'm, I'm doing well. Um, on Friday, I got an offer on the house.
Oh,
The
wow.
guy's a jazz musician. He is in Melbourne, it's an arty area. So he's a jazz musician and is lecturing at Wits University. And he recently did music for some of other kind of movies. So now he just needs to get a bond. So I'm really excited because he doesn't need to sell his house either. He just needs to get a bond because it's not subject to him selling his house.
Okay. All right. Sounds
So I'm
nice.
very grateful. So we're just trusting that the rest of it will also happen.
That's
That the
lovely.
bond will fall into place. But he's the right, perfect person to come and stay in Melbourne.
Oh, that's such good news, Tia. Just wonderful. Just for everybody, anybody who wasn't in our intention activation session, Tia put that on the table that she was looking for the buyer for her house. And so we came together to intend that for her and really felt that and had a beautiful giggle about the space and the visions that
Yeah.
came for us. And um, from the natural, the oak tree, hey, is it? The
Yeah. He is just
beautiful
going to,
trees
he's the
around.
one that will make like these leaf angels.
Yes, we even got to visualizing leaf angels. Um, the buyer doing this in the beautiful wild garden that she has. So this is really
Yes.
interesting way
So
for us to
thank
get
you so much.
started.
It's
Ah,
really
it's a blessing.
happening.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
blessing. So I'm sharing today a little bit into the what's behind all of this and some of the lenses and the perspectives and worldviews that inform these meditations and on what has come to the five principles that then I use to design the different programs and that you can use once you get to know them as well to like apply in the way that you need for your own life as well. So basic common things that we go through. Some of them I propose specific tools that have worked really well for me to achieve that principle. I'm going to share my screen and just on that note, actually, of leaf angels and our imagination, how we were playing in that session. It's a good place to get started. I saved a few slides from some of the manuals or from all of the manuals that I share with the different advanced sessions. I was trying to start with that, but I want to start here because we were just on this topic of imagination. Can everybody see this page with the boy sitting with the book on his lap and the notes and the word imagination? Okay, yeah, just to this lens of what is our imagination. That's with this practice, we use a lot of visualization based practices, and that is because the imagination is not really just make believe. It's so much more, not mere make believe, but the very source of creation itself. Our imagination and visualization offers us a gateway into new realities. We may align to our thriving through consistent practice of the embodiment of whatever we choose. Learning to hone your imagination and your visualization abilities will change your world for the better. And so we do that a lot in this practice. And it's designed to be really supportive of having a healing intention while humming. so that sound amplification that happens is done with an intention that is healing, as this is what's been found in research to be the key, is sound plus intention is what equals the healing. So over a decade, I've been developing this practice through asking the question, how can I hum and heal myself? And so I found that bit by bit information to hone this complete conviction that this way of combining visualization and doing a clearing and realignment of the body to clear your energy, come into your original design, release the stresses, you are naturally strong and powerful to really work through whatever challenges you get. But our fields have been weakened through the various things of our culture, our food, our thoughts, the way that we see and view ourselves, and the way we have our relationships dynamic set up. We need to look at these things, because it's taking a lot of our energy and it's not bringing us into full vital bioenergetic vitality. So here's another slide from one of the manuals that says we are giving and receiving biofields of information and energy, which are intention and vibration. So this came for me from having studied mind power with John Kehoe. Robin Banks came around and did the sessions and events, and there's a statement, a belief that you're printed out for you and you put it on your wall, and it says we are sending and receiving stations of thought. And it's very powerful to start to see yourself in this way, that you are a sending and receiving station of thought, that your thoughts are actually not just in your head, they are heard by everybody around, and in a way that is what influences your relationships as well. And the same way, we are receiving information and we are seeing other people's intentions and feelings. So when we can learn to understand this and work with this, we can start to shift our capacity to engage with our life in a more kind of way of not feeling completely out of control, but realizing our power intrinsically in our body. So I shifted the statement to just recognize that we are organic beings and not stations at all. We're not mechanistic there, back to the mechanistic conversation. We are actually natural bioorganisms. And with that, we have these bioenergetic fields that are sharing information and energy all the time. And so the cultures we nurture in ourselves attract and maintain the cultures around us. And this also brings me to this slide. And this comes from, and I know that Adam would have this information probably, because we've studied some of the same courses on regenerative design, and a beautiful bit of information that's very helpful in how we can view things in our life is that in nature, if you want to measure the health of the structures, you can measure it by measuring two factors, energy and information. How is the energy and information able to flow? And so this practice of vocal somatic resonance was really designed as a way to allow more energy to flow in this information system that the body is. And also interrelationally, there's practices that I share that are helpful to entangle the dynamics between yourself and others. And it's also just about how you view your energy and your being, and how you place yourself within yourself. And visualization can really help immensely there, especially when you get into using tried and tested methods that help to bring heart-brain coherence, which is one of the main facets of the practice. And then also, if you use ancient practices like I've brought in with Kathara healing and ways of, through visualization, bringing yourself into a full body, full being coherence. I want to check the time, see if I can quickly share one more thing before we have a chat. Yes, because this is vital and important. So to understand a little bit about this insight and what has really been a game changer for me in practicing healing humming is to do the 12th dimensional revitalization. And we do that through the Maharic seal practice. And it's not the only way, because ultimately that's our original design. But it is a beautiful way to kind of get fast through into that energy. These are the five principles of vocal somatic resonance that I've put together, and that in cohesion together in different ways and formats one can apply to help you to manifest with greater ease, to help you to bring regulation within your being, within your relationships, navigate whatever challenges you're going through, just in taking the time to spend with yourself and consciously having faith that breathing into your body and wishing positive intentions is really ultimately the most important thing we can do when we're in stressful situations and dynamics in our life, so that we can then shift from the inside out and bring our environment and our circumstance into coherence with that state that we vibrate at. So what I wanted to get to show you here is the beautiful, interesting information about our chakras and the layers of the body. So in the advanced courses, we go a bit into this. I give you this manual, and then you have this information and you can study deeper into it and feel, because the experience is what really your practice is, it's your bioenergetic field that you're nurturing here. What I'm giving you is just a toolbox that gives you a nice broad way of interacting with yourself, your energy field, in a way through visualization practices that's going to help to unentangle the dynamics and shift yourself into greater alignment with your ease, with the way things really can work ultimately as we're just flowing in our abundance. As life wants to grow, there's always, that is the basic principle. So just to go through this briefly and give us a bit of understanding, we have our chakras, which most of us are acquainted with. We can work with these, and it's really beautiful to work with these through chakra tones. One of the advanced sessions focuses in on this, so that you can really open up the central body current to flow. We have this line, you see the white line that's going through this person's body. It's our central body current that allows energy to flow from below and above and through us. So through this practice, you'll become aware that your body is not actually just extension of your mind. It is this channel for energy that you're constantly picking up, and you have a choice to either absorb that energy or to react and reflect it back, or to transform. And you can only transform the energies if your own bioenergetic field is strong enough to be able to transform the energies. That ultimately puts you in a position where you're in the water and there's no land, but you're not stressed, because you're in yourself, in your integrity energetically, within whatever changes might happen around you. If you're in a reactive mode, you're of course going to ricochet and bounce off of everything that you're finding, that is other people having panics and moments, and so for their own reasons. And if you're in an absorption mode, you're similarly going to end up exploding or having some kind of a breakdown, because you're not really able to process what you're absorbing, and you're not putting it into a positive spin. So back to this image. We're revitalizing this energetic flow for our bodies to be able to transform the energy that we get in our lives. And through understanding and getting deeper practice, experiential insight into this, what is shown here on this image, that the chakras relates to essentially the body. The main chakras we know, up to 7, and then there's 2 more shown here that are actually in the body, 8 and 9. Which we can get into another time, but these are essentially your body. That's your physical body. Even though some of them relate to the higher portions of consciousness, they're still within the body, and that's where you can access them. So knowing where they are and how to just intend into them can be very helpful. And then as these chakras go up, the color codes from the root chakra to the first layer, the physical layer of the body. And then the sacral chakra links to your emotional body, the orange layer around that. That's a bit felt a little bit more further outside of the physical body. And the mental body relates to the solar plexus. The astral body relates to the heart chakra. The throat relates to the our archetype body, where we express our embodiment of self. And the third eye relates to the angelic body, being able to see beyond the limitational vision that is in the physical body. So in this way, we're building this bridge from the physical to the spiritual, and then we get into the higher chakras. And when we work with what I've brought in with the 12-dimensional practice that comes from Kathara healing, we're coming from the outside layers in. So when you're seeing this image and you're going out to the outer layers, and there's a white layer that says Nirvanic body. And in from that, there's a dark silver layer that says Buddhaic body. And in from that, there's a blue-black layer that says Christiac body. And these three layers together work as a bandwidth. And when you can come with visualization practice to help to reactivate your connection to those layers, that is your divine template, brings you into alignment with the way things were designed for you to be, so that all the traumas and the things that you've been through can start to just dissolve as you practice resonating within that. You can then apply either techniques that you've learned in your life of analyzing and looking at things from another angle. You can apply those types of techniques with this practice of actually first priming your resonance, the way that you are attuned. So working with this aligns you with unconditional love. It comes in with Christ consciousness, or the original writing was with a K, the Christ, K-R-Y-S-T, of these energies that are transmutative of the lower levels, helping to really bridge that gap into the divine, into the source energy, bringing us back into that union where our dance can be most blissful with the divine elements that are always there to guide and support us when we're ready to just tune into them. So we're tuning into them through this practice. And we're using this natural shield and basic understanding of these principles. There's many more things you could go into in depth. I'm going to stop my share. Just come back into the room. But we need some more time for that. And so there is the opportunity of booking for the sessions that are happen on Monday afternoons. And if you feel like you'd like to join those, but you just would like to suggest a different time, you can try something out. But the recording is available, and that's really what's worked for me in my timing, to just be able to commit to those. The recording's also available if you want to just catch up with it in your own time. All of these are underpinned by the 5 principles, which are basically just how to hum, the how to hold your mind while you hum. What do you do with the thoughts so that the humming is more healing? Because humming in and of itself is healing. The nitric oxide that gets produced, 15 times more nitric oxide gets produced in your nasal cavities when you hum and you breathe back in. This helps your blood vessels to dilate. It's got antimicrobial properties. It helps so many of your organs to function. So it's recommended already. It's quite commonly shared these days that people recommend 15 minutes of humming. We're not necessarily doing it yet, but I'm hoping that through this practice we can get so deep immersed in how beautiful it is to spend that time with yourself, to really help to calibrate to a higher source. And as I said, there's different ways of doing this. So currently what I'm doing as well in the development of the practice is to look at how I can simplify these ancient practices into ways that is now just relevant ways of seeing, how do I feel? How can I shift that feeling to just access that quicker? But this is the best way that I know. And so that's what I'm sharing with you as much as possible in every session, so that you can become empowered through what I've learned, and inspired to follow your own learning path as well. And hopefully together we can come and find more ways of sharing how we see this practice to be a good practice, when one is to spend that time in visualization, because we all have something beautiful to contribute. So I'd like to open up for any questions. I still haven't quite touched now again on the 5 principles, so maybe that is not exactly clear. If you'd like me to just quickly headline those 5 principles, I could do that and walk you through that. But I'd also like to, I see Adam says not head nodding for that one. If anybody else would like to suggest or ask a question at this point before I get into that, it's also welcome. Hi, Mary. See you hopped off and back on. Thanks, Mary.
I guess first thing that comes to mind is, how are you experiencing this work through this Zoom environment? And is it different? And do you practice in person? And is there a difference that you're seeing in the transmission, or any power in group presence?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think that the online work is really efficient, as much as what the people are ready to show up for themselves and just do that, do that process. And it obviously is different times, different people. You have time for it or you don't, or it's what's necessary for a person or not. I have one-on-one clients that do really well with the long distance work. Because I'm only really guiding their process to do their own inner visualization, and helping them to tailor the tools to serve this purpose, and just do a little practice. So sometimes we'll bring in things that you could do a process of a reimagining of a scenario that has affected you adversely, or that you need to shift your inner calibration to, and I would guide the practice into that kind of additional support, and that works really well over distance. In person, I think it really comes down to the showing up. If I'm being intentional to still wish upon that person's body and being, the intentional physical intention. If I'm there for a one-on-one client, then I'm also giving more energy into a supportive space while they're doing that. So I'm helping with the visualizations in that sense, by visualizing it for them as opposed to my own practice for me. And so with that showing up fully for it, it doesn't make, I don't believe it makes much of a difference. Just as much as that person's willing to receive it over the distance as well, or if they're allowing their mind to wander more because of the distance. So that would be a personal kind of boundary, but it doesn't need to be a limitation. Thanks, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, so I just want to say something about that. I did the one session with you, like the quantum leap thingy, of make the leap or make the jump one. And
Yes.
for me, being on the other side here in Melville, and you being on that side, we are so connected via quantum entanglement in any case, in the conscious and the big, like the overall consciousness that's we're connected to. So that is the feeling is the same, because the energy is still around us.
Yes.
Yes, that's what I wanted to say.
You feel because we're regionally more connected.
Yeah, and we are connected to the big quantum field of consciousness.
Yes.
That is surrounding us, but we're in tune with one another.
Yes. That's
And
it.
it's still working. Doesn't matter if it's like a online session or if it's the same energy. It's not a little bit less energy because we're not
Yes,
face to face.
yes. And it's that
Yeah.
beautiful thing that as you believe in it, it's powerful. There's been studies done into all sorts of healing for physical illnesses. And the common factor they found for people that actually heal from their ailments is whether they believe in their practitioner, or the healer, the person that's helping them, and whether they believe in the protocols used. Those are actually the only common denominators when any across different types of diseases. So this says to me that really that's what we're after in life, is just to really be in coherence, believe the people you're choosing to be with. If you're choosing to follow somebody, be in it and follow it, because it's going to work if you believe in it, and if you've got a full-hearted commitment to it, then it's natural for you. um So let me show you a little bit into I'm going to share my screen again. If anybody wants to share something in between, and welcome the chat, questions as well. I'll just go through the basic principles of the practice, see if I've missed anything. Okay, so yeah, this is also really beautiful to just share about the practice. I have dubbed it the Ming Pang hum, the main kind of humming that I guide to do. And just to say that I am looking at shifting this more into a space of actually supporting vocal development for people who are interested in singing and just releasing their vocal, the vocal cords in general, and their ability to voice their truth and their authenticity, and working into deep archetypes with that relate here powerfully, particularly for the masculine and feminine. So those are some interesting things that I'm working on for group practices that I'd like to share with you soon, more about. But generally, so far, what I've shared to practice, besides the the seed tones, which are also used in the chakra toning, is just to do a basic closed lip humming into the body, and I'll demonstrate. Mm. 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 I'm hoping you can hear my hum there. That's just to get into your body. And this is actually, there's a beautiful, and I'll share that again on the group so we can see that there's a beautiful video recording. It's actually just an audio recording with a slide of Dr. Ming Pang, who was a Qigong master, and he did a lot of amazing work with Qigong and healing people who were in uh, far down the line states of disease, and in their dying time, and they came to centers based on word of mouth, never advertised. And it's a recording of him doing this hum for 17 minutes or something, and he speaks a lot into sound as a tool. And it's not commonly a practiced, or I haven't seen, I've met other qigong teachers that actually don't practice much humming, so it's a bit of a hidden secret of qigong. And the qigong practice is very relating for me energetically with the lens that has been formed through this practice of vocal somatic resonance. So this slide also just says, that this is similar to the Brahmari breath, but it is not prolonged. You're just breathing in that rhythm. And that is part of the first intention, the first principle is to relax. Very simple as it is, it's very vitally important, because we won't heal if we don't relax. If we're in flight or fight mode, or we're in freeze mode, we're in fawn mode. Fawn is when you try to appease the other, to try to shift and change the situation. When we're in those modes, we're not creating from our original design. We're in a reactive state. And we're also on a body level, we're activating the parasympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system, which triggers stress. And then when we're relaxing, when we're intentionally bringing that intention, we're embracing the parasympathetic nervous system, allowing that to promote the calm in the body. So that's the names science has given it, sympathetic and parasympathetic. I'm sure there's a rap song at least in that, if not a whole ideology, understanding into the etymology of the words. But basically in this practice, then the different tools that I'll use or suggest that one would use in your body to assist with this relaxation is the Ming Pang hum, which we do throughout most of the time, and then stroking, patting, shaking, pulsing, moving the body. There's techniques that are known and proven to work, like the havening technique, where you rub your arms in this way. And we have sensors. So there's all this science these days that shows that it is really helpful for the nervous system to stroke. And when we can do that for ourselves, we are assisting the body. And if we're feeling uncomfortable with doing that for ourselves, it has something to say about our level of disconnect with our own bodies, because this is a really natural thing. And of course, in nature, we stroke and pat and move one another. And so we can work to bring our relationships back into balance. And that's, of course, a whole societal shift that has to happen for us to normalize stroking and supporting one another in the way that is natural for us, because we're also beings that interrelate, and our nervous systems actually need that desperately. So another great exercise is progressive muscle relaxation. And so we do different things like cyclical sighing is also a little bit of progressive muscle relaxation, where you breathe in and pause, and then all the way and sighing out. And somatic practices deal a lot with that, like relaxing and then contracting. And when we do that, that helps to release the stresses. So then another principle, the next one is to balance and align. And this comes strongly into the physical body balance. And the purpose of this is to really be able to assess your tension levels just through the body, and through your alignment, you can start to build a relationship with yourself to really see also physically where there's dense spots in your body that might result in disease, or perhaps you already have a sign of something like a tooth that's got a hole in it, or an injury, or a ankle that keeps twisting, or something. And there's all sorts of meaning we can read into this, and people that have done work into showing us the different parts of the body and how this relates. But just in feeling your own balance in your own body, you can start becoming aware just physically, and is there a balance? And by then revitalizing the energy through the humming practice and the visualization practices, bringing that fresh current of unconditional love, the Christ consciousness that we bring and allow to flow through in quite a physical visualization form of light moving through the body, helping to then shift these things into alignment. And the eyes are very powerful as markers for us. In my process of developing this, I did some sessions with a man called Daniel Raphael, who teaches quantum leaping. And so the Make the Leap session is also inspired from the way that his process of supporting manifestation work. And this is through I don't want to divert too much, but it is a process, in short, of releasing negativities, coming into higher alignment with your higher self, and using light, visualization, white light as well, and then visualizing what you're wanting to move into, and then feeling that, and using breath work to move that through the energetic field. And in our practice here with Vocal Somatic Resonance, we use the layers I referred to earlier, and we use that whole body experience, and the chakras to assist with that revitalization throughout the body. But back to the eyes, what I found that was a mention from Danielle Raphael is that the eyes in a centered position is the position for the eyes to be in the act of performing miracles. And this came from an example he gave. He said he found a person that could manifest objects from another dimension, and this was a guidance from her. She manifested honey and let him taste this, and this was just divine. And we hear these accounts of people manifesting things in the deep spiritual practices and those that understand. And it seems that the eyes are a big factor in that capacity. And my interpretation of this is that also the eyes, trying to see something. There we go. That's fine. I thought the time was staying still, and then I realized I'm stuck on the slide that says the time, different time. So our eyes will pick up tensions and drift off to sides from the traumas that we've been through. And there's um, a whole method that is used to support people's healing of traumas that basically help them in a safe environment to create that sense of security, possibly through havening technique and things like that. And then allowing them to trust the facilitator, and then the facilitator would hold the space for them to relive those traumatic events. But the intention is to hold their eyes centered, and they'll just gently keep nudging them to keep centering the eyes. And so we do this in the practice, the same as what that facilitator would do in that, and I think it's called EMDR, eye movement. I forget the directional something. I'll have to look it up, because it's a very interesting field that I still have to go deep into. But that principle has stuck with me, and I found the practicing support in that. In just whatever you feel, whatever tensions come up as you practice, this supports the healing humming, so that you are allowing that rising of emotions or thoughts or tensions or awareness of tensions that are underlying in the body to soften and to be released through bringing the eyes back to center, so that the nervous system can calibrate to say, I am safe. Even though my body is still showing the signs of those traumas, I am safe now. And so I can actually trust that, and I can allow the relaxing and the healing to happen. And so we've used the eyes, the nostrils, the lungs, and the whole body as just that principle of, am I centered in myself while I'm doing the practice? So this is a principle you'd keep in mind. And I, through the guided practices, just prompt that remembrance of these principles. Those two very powerful together, and then we start getting into applications that has been developed by people for this purpose. The principle is heart-brain coherence, and that can happen through just being in your element, right, and being in a happy place. And so the heart-brain coherence practice that I incorporate takes you to a happy place, even if you don't have it now currently in your life, so that you can and then allows you to feel that happy place in such a deep and real way, and then take that experience out to your full body experience, your full being experience, in a sense, your connection to the entire cosmos and the universe and everything, as we in fact really are. It allows you to then integrate that on that whole level, and then bring it back into your heart. So this is the heart lock-in technique by the Heart Math Institute that we use to allow the body to function as it was meant to, with a synergy between the body organs, and particularly the heart and the brain, and the whole nervous system gets then rewired to work together. And then, as I've mentioned, the 12-dimensional revitalization. This is really vital to, as we've done the heart-brain coherence, what this does is it helps you to come into calibration, coherence with the divine blueprint, with how you were really intended to function, your full vital health. And Kathara Healing shows and shares immensely helpful information that I and many people who practice it regularly find works really helpful to help to deal through life's challenges and hold your even kill, mostly because you're able to process and transform that energy that you're met with, and then that way be able to always make at least a positive impact, even if the circumstances stay chaotic. You're still an element of positive energetic shift within that. And so this helps to bring the body back into full vitality with your before corrupt self. And this is very important to do before working with the toroidal flow, which is the fifth principle. Really powerful to start to work through the movement aspect of your body. We tend to see ourselves as a physical body, an energy, or even a physical entity, here, which has led to that belief that we're a station, we're an energetic field. And my belief and experience through this practice is this really that one that says consciousness creates the body. The body is actually just the result, and it is this physical symptom of the relationships that is happening, the movement that is happening, the energetic flow that is happening in our bodies. So there's different flows that you can get into conscious awareness of, and that supports your body. And one is the shape of the torus, seeing that flow through the central body current, out the crown, down the sides, back in through to the root, and simultaneously down through the spine. We have upward and downward flowing energies. Spending time and getting to know what this means for you, how you can interact with this to support you in your life, is really helpful. And just a couple of to share a couple of things on how it can be really helpful if you're feeling depressed and energies are getting stuck in your life. Working with the upward flowing energies, visualizing a suction, a flow through the spine, up out the crown, down the sides, and back in through the root, and breathing and just presencing with that, adding the humming in this case to amplify that effect, is really and help you to potentize your awareness and create all the physical benefits of the humming in the body, is really a potent practice to do to lift that depression and stagnant energies. This can also be used for an immune boost if you're starting to feel yourself being a bit sick, and you need to move the energy into supportive energetic patterning to help you to fight that disease that's come in. Then that is a really helpful process to do. And sometimes we need to release and we need to let go of things, and we need to just aid that surrender. And then that downward flow of energy helps us with accepting the death of things in our life and processing the grief and just accepting the reality that we are in gravity, and we are in this world where we will feel all the things that we need to process, and that it is safe to process it and give it, let the earth also inform, so that when that fresh energy comes in, we're receiving the good energies, and that will be defined what you receive from the earth and from the energetic field that is outside of you, in all of the people you meet and in the world and all of the things that people are experiencing. What you physically receive in your energetic field will depend on what you're attuned to, what you're attuning your own energetic current to. And you can make it safe for yourself even to attune to the sorrow and the negativities that there are in the world, in order to make a difference in those places, but without allowing your body, your own energetic vitality, to be ultimately disturbed by those things. That is a trick, because if one is wanting to go and make a change in the world, and you're going out there and you're depleting your own energy because you don't know how to protect it from these forces, how to vitalize your energy from the inside out, so that things that are not alike into your own energetic currency will bounce off, or you'll pick them up. You'll be aware because your consciousness is tuned, but you will not be absorbing them and taking them into it, having an effect on your energetic vitality. You'll be able to transmute those impacts a lot better through just coming in practice with yourself, practicing that culture in your being, so that it becomes easier to access that heart-brain coherence, to access the state of flow, to access the alignment with the divine, and not stressing the small stuff, and being able to look at the bigger picture and trust that there's a good plan in everything that is happening. Sometimes through the grief processes of life, this becomes difficult. So we need to assist ourselves sometimes to just recalibrate to the possibility that things can go well, and I can align myself to the good that is coming through this, even though this might be a dark night of the soul for you, for humanity, as it is for all of us at this time in one way or another. We're going through shifts of our identity, shifts of our our systems that functions for us. You know, the identity of nationalities are really breaking down, and our identity, inner identity of our own energy field and knowing ourselves is becoming even more important than ever before. And that is just through the practice you spend in time with yourself. Just to before I veer back in the group. Lost the signal on my app here. Wanted to just show you the next slide here, which is the expression here of the toroidal energy field, and showing the full vital energetic field when we allow the truth of our true beings, that we are the light, and that we have, through our capacity of our free choice and alignment to what we choose to believe, and then resonate with what we speak, what we sing, what we hum, what we intend while we're making any sound whatsoever. And even a thought is a sound. So every intention really counts in building up our energetic field. And with all of that, it's really the element of love and unconditional love and forgiveness that assists us to bring our energetic field back into vitality. Because, as it said, you know, he without sin had cast the first stone. There is nobody who can say, you know, I got damaged by all these other beings and I'm absolutely perfect and I've never done any harm to anybody else's energetic field. We are all in this journey together, ultimately to learn that we are energetic beings, and what we do, what we say, what we feel, what we intend, that is what's shaping this field of reality or consciousness that we're in. And so, you know, here we are to just assist us to create some kind of fast tracks through some of the dynamics in our energy that can make it difficult to access these states of nirvanic being. So that is quite a mouthful, and I enjoyed presenting that nutshell. And I'd love to hear any thoughts, any feelings you have about it, or questions. I see some hearts. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm transitioning into a new space, so I apologize.
That's
Much
fine.
gratitude, and so inspiring to see your content and the way you're sharing it. I'm very excited to learn more.
Beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you, Marika. It's interesting to keep on being reminded about these things. Thank you.
Pleasure. Yeah, no, that's lovely. I thought we'd just touch base with these things and open the room for some questions and insights from everybody. Yeah, so just to backtrack on one thing that I was sharing now, and I did point out that it is really beautiful to practice that, and it is quite vital to practice the 12-dimensional calibration or revitalization before doing the flow, toroidal flow. And I'd like to point out that it's as life is not here for sissies. It's all of our experience, how we deal with our energetic field. But it has been said that we have to be more cautious about working with Kundalini energies, and you might have heard those types of warnings. And this is my understanding of this. Flow energy, working with the toroidal energy field, is essentially starting to open up to the Kundalini energies that might move through one through a vital open channel if you've done the work to clear it. And even far before any of such higher experiences, sensational experiences might occur, you are heightening just by lifting, being able to lift your depression from a low state to a high state in quite a quick and effortless promotion by doing a technique like working through your central spine and feeling that flow up through you. You are moving a lot of energy. And there's a reason why those things developed, those depressions developed, right? Some habits that have informed, that have brought that about, habits of thought or practice. And so it's important to recalibrate into a higher source, into divine. And our spiritual practice is that for us. You know, we each have our unique way of accessing what the divine is for us. And so we don't have to get stuck on one particular practice it's not like a kind of a religion that I'm trying to share with that. It's really just a tool that is using quite a focused visualization practice, not a not a spiritual practice as such, and yet it has an effect on the spirit to really support that vitality to come through. And so it's important to do that kind of clearing, coming back into unconditional love before doing that type of work, because otherwise one is stirring up energies and you're moving it through your body and through your field and through and that can ricochet in other ways of experiences and dynamics, in a heightened aggression that can come out. You might feel your energy now lifted from the depression, but later you're getting aggressive because something is underlying and not looked at. So we do a practice that helps to clear those types of things from happening, making it really safe to work with those types of heightened energetic shifting energies. Yeah, thank you everybody. So it's today has been a chat and not really a practice. If anybody else would like to have something to say or might want to request we stay for a few minutes and do a quick heart-brain coherence practice or something of the sort, we can take a few more minutes if you'd like to, for those that can.
Thank you. It will be great.
Okay. No other thoughts, questions? Doesn't look like it. If you have, you're welcome to reach out to me or share it on the group, and we can have the chats to learn and bring this practice into as much. The intention for me is just to, as I share with the advanced sessions, manuals and information, I try to give it, make sure that you get the information, and as much as one is willing to dig deeper, those things are available. And yeah, let's get into a nice heart-brain coherent practice for the end. That's the best way to end this. Small practice, yes. So the heart locking technique from the Heart Math Institute is really taught to do in 3 minutes. We often do it much longer because of fun with the humming and the added visualization. It becomes nice to sit with it and really feel that intention deeply through your body. But let's do a nice quick spin through the heart locking technique. All right, center into your being and just find that balance. Unlock the legs, can help for the energetic flow as well if you're crossing them. And just notice where the eyes are. And we're going to take a couple of cyclical breaths to first just gather the energy and come into a nice relaxed presence. To do that, you breathe in halfway in and pause, and then all the way in, all the way, and then sighing out. Connect to the sound already, and another half a breath in, pause, and then all the way in. Sighing out. And now I want you to relax the belly on the in breath and start to hum on the out breath. In through the nose, and out through the nose. But letting the sound drop into the body from the voice, feeling the hum move through the chest. And then centering into the heart center. I want you to now breathe into the heart as if it has a nose, and hum into the heart, feeling that sense of the vibration around the heart. Mm. Mm. And just keep this heart-centered breath going for a bit. Humming in, seeing if you can feel the vibration in the heart, or perhaps you can kind of pick up the heartbeats by rhythm, moving into the vibration of the voice. That's the kind of gentle curiosity you can have with the humming. And centering into the heart center, we want to activate gratitude now. So to do that, you can call upon anything in your life that currently brings a lot of gratitude alive for you. And you just visualize those images, those people, those circumstances that are present in your current reality, and enjoy them. See the sights, hear the sounds. Imagine yourself connecting and feeling the touch, sense, activating that real sense of gratitude. You can also use a memory of a time in a recent or distant past, or even a time from the future that you project yourself to live a goal, that when you realize this, you'll feel that sense of ease and gratitude. Place yourself in that chosen image experience and continue to breathe and hum into the heart, and thus activate that gratitude as if you're now intending, and you're blowing that gratitude into the heart as a resonant chamber for the gratitude. Mm. Mm. And it's growing and it's expanding into the whole chest. You're feeling that vibration activate the gratitude in the chest and radiating out throughout the whole body. All the way to the tips of the fingers and the toes. Feeling that full body humming activation, breathing into the heart and resonating out the gratitude, and letting it radiate out the skin into the auric field around you. And in all directions, expanding into the whole room you're in. And out into the entire building. And further into the area around your home or the building you're in, space that you're in, and expand further and further throughout the whole bioregion. Growing that bubble of your awareness and the gratitude, reaching, flowing, resonating through all the bodies, all of the trees, the animals, the plants, the earth beneath you, the sky above, the water of the earth as it starts to engulf the entire earth, and you're breathing and humming gratitude through the earth, radiating it out into the solar system, and out into the vaster space of the galaxy, and all of the universe, and expanding into the multiverse, all that is, was, and will be, in all dimensions of being. Great mystery, resonant with the gratitude of your experience. You're gifting it, you're sharing, overflowing with the joy of this condition of your experience that is assisting your activation on this frequency of gratitude, this vibration. You feel yourself being warm, and you just connect into the body and your breath and your hum while you're in this vast expanse of identification with all that is. And start to bring that awareness back in a bit closer now, and see if you can stoke the gratitude as you bring it closer and closer through into the Milky Way, leaning into the boundaries of that space, that relationship of dynamic, and humming and toning, imagining that toning moving through all that space, carrying that intention of gratitude. And bring it back closer into the solar system. Coming into that space, bringing it closer into the earth, its atmosphere and its body, humming and toning this active gratitude into this earth. And coming closer into the bioregion that you're in. Feeling in all directions around you this intention of gratitude washing through. Imagining this voice carrying forth to touch all of the living, non-living entities and identities and relationships. And coming in closer into the area immediately surrounding where you're situated. And back into the home, the building you're in, to the foundations and the ceilings and all the walls, and furniture, and your immediate space of the room you're in. Tone into that. Feel how you can just soften your awareness into that space. And then coming back into your auric field, arm's length around the body, centering the breath into the heart, toning into the space around the body, activating the gratitude in the space, and then bringing your awareness back into the physical body. Now feeling the warmth of the skin and the vibration and how you can feel that full body hum. Activating that gratitude. And then shrinking the field of focus into the chest again. Coming into the lung space and the space of the organs beneath. Stoking with the visions for a moment as you just stay with the organs, stay with the space of the chest and the torso. Visualizing those stimuli that assisted you in the gratitude and just hum that into your organs for a moment. Into the chest, the region of your heart, and the heart center. And a few last nice, gentle, easing out breaths into the heart and humming into the heart, really sensitive to listen, to feel all you're feeling. Just check to see if your eyes are centered, remembering that principle. Bring your eyes back to balance if you feel they feel quite tense right now. That's okay, that's normal. You can just relax them now. Hum a little bit more ease into the space of your eyes. Notice how that shifts your centeredness of your being. And just center into the heart center. And you can start to feel the rest of the body, ease out the humming, just come into silent presence, wiggling the fingers, feeling the body. You can do some stroking and patting on the body to both relax and also help to enliven the physical body after a period of sitting still, perhaps just deepening into the inner mind space. Assist the body just to come back, open the eyes if they were closed. Remembering that stroking assists to help to relax and also just bring that nervous system back into full body awareness, integrating what you've experienced there into these parts that you're rubbing as well, stimulating that energy. So it's always vital with sound practice to also come into silence, as any song has its beautiful quiet moments. We need that integration. to really assist with the landing of the practice. Thank you, everybody. If anybody would like to share at this point how that felt, I think that was a little bit more than 3 minutes ultimately. I try. Thanks for your time today and sharing the space together.
Thank you, Marika. It was just so relaxing after a very, very hardcore busy day. Thank you.
Good. Beautiful.
Thank you so much, Marika. It's very powerful. The way you present it feels like it's so simple and doable. It's very, very powerful at the same time. So thank you so much. Thank you for all that you share with us.
Yes.
So grateful. So grateful. Thank you.
Yeah, it's a pleasure.
Yes, very grateful.
Wonderful. Yeah, it's an absolute honor. It's the relationship that is the magic. Yes. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you so much.
I'm curious to hear, Nazma, how is your husband doing with his back?
He's doing quite well. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But he's healing. Yes.
Oh, yeah, it takes time.
Yeah.
It takes time and presence.
Yeah.
May you feel held in the process in all ways.
Yes.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Marika. Lots of blessings.
All right.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Marika.
Pleasure. Thank you so much. And thank you for your
That
blessing.
was an extra long bonus session tonight.
Yes. Yes.